News at 11.
We begin tonight with breaking news. Tonight, a man was taken to the hospital after an officer-involved shooting in Marshall County. WSBT 22's James Famore is live at the scene with the latest. James?
10 minutes away.
Thanks, Matt. Well, this man, Demetrius Lee Murray, is charged with the murder and the death of 18-year-old Deonta Horst. Murray was just arrested this afternoon in conjunction with yesterday's deadly shooting at the Cedar Glen apartment complex. Court documents say Murray went to the apartments with his brother, Romello Murray, and Horst for an apparent drug deal. Police say Demetrius pulled a gun and took the drugs and cash, although it is still unclear how or why. As Demetrius was leaving the apartment building, police say he shot Deonta Horst and then fled the scene. Romello Murray was also arrested for assisting a criminal, but has not yet been charged. South Bend Police Chief Teachman says all of this could have been avoided.
There was a story that led up to the incident, and there was ample opportunity for a lot of people involved to pick up the phone and call 911. And we would have had a different outcome.
Both Murray brothers are at the St. Joseph County Jail tonight. Well, tonight in Crime Watch, a South Bend mother is grateful she and her baby are alive after being robbed at gunpoint in her home on West Rogers Street early this morning. The 22-year-old woman who had been renting the home said that she asked not to be identified. She says around 10 a.m. Monday morning, two armed men broke open her front door and barged in. She and her 6-week-old baby laid on the floor. Cannot imagine as these men spent more than 10 minutes in her home.
I just seen gun. That's all I seen, and they were just pointing straight at me in my face. They just kept saying, be quiet, don't cry, and stuff like that. We was looking for people and this and that, and they had bills to pay.
The men stole 3 flat-screen TVs, an Xbox system, and some games. The victim is not sure if the men were wearing masks. She was only able to tell police that the suspects were African-American and in their 20s. Well, another potential clue to the disappearance of an AirAsia plane off of Indonesia. The crew of an Australian aircraft has spotted what they call suspicious objects in the water about 700 miles from where the plane disappeared. Officials say they don't yet know if there's any connection to the missing plane, but the search and rescue chief says it's believed that the plane is at the bottom of the ocean. A fire on the ferry off the coast of Albania has left at least 10 people dead. That number could rise as the number of people accounted for, though, is lower than the number on the ferry's manifest. Around 150 people were able to escape the vessel's lifeboats, but when the ferry lost power, the mechanism that lowers that lifeboats failed. It's not known how the fire started, but it's believed to have originated in a parking bay. More than 400 passengers have been traveling on the ferry from Greece to Italy. Well, Scottish officials are confirming a case of Ebola in Glasgow. Authorities say the patient returning from Sierra Leone flying through Casablanca and London late last night. The Scottish Health Agency says the patient is a healthcare worker who was trying to combat the disease in West Africa. The patient will be transferred to an isolation unit at London's Royal Free Hospital. Well, Mike Pence began a 3-day trade mission in Israel on Monday. It follows a 6-day family vacation in the Holy Land. Today, the governor met with Israeli Prime Minister. Democrats say the trip is all about the governor's presidential ambition, but Republicans say a meet with the economic leaders, the state's economic development team, are the real reason for the trip.
We have a lot of
Pence also met with Israeli troops and gave them Indianapolis Colts t-shirts. Well, we're less than 24 hours away from kickoff at this year's Music City Bowl. Notre Dame has a tough task ahead of them as they take on the LSU Tigers. WSBT 22's Pete Byrne and Carl Deffenbaugh have more on the matchup.
Greetings from Nashville.
Well, a massive need for O-negative blood donors. How you can help save a life at a time when it's needed most.
It's been very quiet December. That pattern's going to continue for a few days, but we're going to get some cold air in here and eventually some snow. Next week will be even cooler. So there's the more active, the colder pattern. No big snow showing up just yet, but once you get the cold air over the lake, things start to work.
Negative 23 wind chills. I mean, out west. That's just
right.
Well, so is that headed for us in the coming days?
Probably not that cold just yet, but nonetheless, if you remember, were you here in January?
Not
yet. Okay, well, she's yet to see it. It was awful. We had wind chills 40 below, so we can handle wind chills around 0.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it.
Oh,
Thanks.
I bet.
All right, well, donations are down for O-negative blood. How the South Bend Medical Foundation is trying to increase their supply. There's a severe shortage of blood donations in our area, and it's been years since donations have been this low, so much so that the South Bend Medical Foundation asked the state to get involved.
Back when I was in high school, I went to St. Joe, and they used to have a big blood drive every year, and they kind of recruited students to come do it.
That landed Molly Jurasek here at the South Bend Medical Foundation. She gives blood when she's home from college at IU.
What's it to me if I have to spend like a half an hour to give blood when it might save someone's life in the ER?
But Molly's blood is hard to find. She's O negative. Only about 7% of the country has it.
I get phone calls all the time when I'm at school or when I'm at home.
And even more now, the foundation is critically low on Molly's type of blood.
We have actually filed what's called a critical appeal with the State Department of Health, which means that we are in an emergent need of O-negative blood right now.
That blood helping hospitals in St. Joseph County and trauma centers in emergency situations.
Donating blood is so important because there is no other way for us to get blood.
And that's exactly what's happening. Christmas time is slow, but rarely this slow.
The need really increases, unfortunately, at a time when the donations tend to decrease.
After the foundation filed a critical appeal, they called donors like Molly to see if they could boost their donations from about fewer than 40 each day to more than 100.
I've been in the ER before, and I've seen someone come in like seriously bleeding. So I kind of try to remember someone like that in my head that I've seen just in passing and hope that it'd be helping them.
If you want to donate blood, be sure to visit givebloodnow.com. You can also find set places and times that are most convenient for you. Well, with the coming of a new year, people often make resolutions to lose weight or give up something healthy. We all have whatever we believe in, but all too often we fall short of those goals. Well, what if we made a new kind of resolution to keep us on track? Sarah Ghanem explains. Stay with us. Sports is next. The Bears decide to move in a different direction and clean house. Plus, the countdown to the Music City Bowl has begun. The Fighting Irish have a new starting quarterback. We'll have all you need to know before the next kickoff in sports.
One more note, the Chicago Bulls and Pacers facing off tonight. The Bulls win a thriller 92-90. Jimmy Butler finished with 27 points.
Pacers always putting out a good game.
Definitely. You have to say that. You're from Indiana.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, Adam. Matt's next.
Likely have to deal with some lake effect snow by next week as well.
You're looking like a chilly New Year's, too. Better stay inside.
Starting with a bang.
All right, well, Dave has Ben Stiller tonight. Joined Bob, Leanne, and Carrie for WSBT 22 News first thing in the morning. Thanks for joining us.